We literally go from you want to work for the government, but they're a morally corrupt government and you don't agree with them, to you get free money, but you're gonna smell of wee. Hello there once again, my friends, and welcome to Will You Press the Button? Now, this is a game in which you are presented with morally and or ethically challenging dilemmas, and you have to decide whether or not you will press the button. Here is the example, which maybe isn't the best one to start with right out the gate. It's you get this, but this happens. Will you go for it? Will you not? That is the question. Now this first one, as I've said, is very, very ambiguous in a number of ways. So if you press the button, you'll get 50k a month for life, which I'm assuming is money. They don't specify a currency, so it could be yen, which would not be as good as, like, say, pounds, or, you know, something along those lines. 50k a month for life, so that's 6 million a year. But you get wrapped once a week for life, right? You get wrapped. And now this comment here seems to think that the author of the question, because these are all user-submitted questions, they seem to think that it means raped, which is a very, very, like, okay, great, we're thinking about this, kind of thing to put out there. So obviously in that instance, no, I'd rather not go for that one. However, it says you get wrapped. And now we have to question what this means, because it doesn't say wrapped with a W, which would mean like wrapped in paper, and it doesn't say wrapped about as in a song, so it could mean that, which would be cool, like if someone rapped about me, like, yo, Aaron, he's really cool, dropped out of school, what a fool, shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have done that, regrets his life choices. But it doesn't say that, so, yeah, I mean, I'd be okay with that if that were a thing, but it says wrapped, so what I'm thinking is, like, you know, gently rapped at the chamber door, quoth the raven nevermore. It's not like a hard knock life, it's like a gentle rap, like a rap. So, I mean, if someone's gonna do that on me, I assume it's the only logical inference, then I think I'm okay with that, you know, like once a week you get a little, and that's just your little reminder that you are gonna be, you know, rolling in the 6 million this year. So that's that. Let's go for it. Let's press the button. Cool, we got lag. Okay, so that was 50-50. It was a very, very even split, presumably because of the ambiguity of the statement. But hey ho, let's just press on to the next epic moral quandary. Here we go. You can have sex with anyone you could ever want, use unlimited, but every time you climax, you see your parent's face. The gender of the receiver is the parent. So, like, every time you do the do, I would see my dad. No, straight up, we're not even going to discuss this one. Yeah, pressing on. You can be the richest person in the world, but video games will be no longer made. Now see, this kind of brings into play the whole fact that I'm filming this for my gaming channel. That would be a bit of a difficulty. I'd be the richest person in the world, but it says video games will no longer be made. But that doesn't mean that all the video games that already exist will not, like, continue to exist. And everything that I play on this channel is already a decade old, apart from Crisis 3, which came out in like 2013. So what I'm thinking is, we go with being the richest person in the world, and we just continue to play all the old games. Because we can play literally anything. If we're the richest person in the world, we could even buy, like, you know, the rarest games in existence. Assuming that they haven't already all been bought up by collectors or, you know, lost through attrition. Like, we could just buy anything. So we could play, like, literally every game ever made. And the fact that new games are not continuing to be made is not an issue. In fact, it may actually, you know, continue to spread appreciation for older games that kind of no longer see any love. So, as I've said multiple times, the intention here on this channel is to play older stuff, not just the 360 and Wii stuff that we're playing at the minute. We do want some, you know, GameCube and even older. So, yeah, let's go ahead and be the richest person in the world. It says 52-48, so people are a little bit split on this one. People like the video games. They like those new fresh concepts from independent developers, and the next big thing. So you will be able to read minds, but not be able to turn off others' thoughts when you want. Again, this is another one where it's like the way that it's written is a little bit questionable. So it's like, does it mean you won't be able to stop people thinking what they're thinking if it's something that you're not a fan of? Or does it mean you will just be hearing everything from all directions all the time? Because that would give me a bit of a headache, but also be very cool. I think it would be like one of those things, like in Smallville, where like he's kind of, Superman's developing his powers, or you know, Superman to be Clark Kent is developing his powers, and he's like, oh my god, sensory overload, suddenly I can see and hear and everything, but you kind of learn to train it and hone it. So I think at first it would be very, very overwhelming, but you could also learn to control that power. You could learn to kind of single out the things that you want to hear. It would be a thing that would come with practice, and like, you know, like muscle memory in a way. So I think that'd be interesting. It'd be very overwhelming at first, but I think that might be a fun one. So I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna push the button. 58% were in agreement. We're getting a lot of like very split ones. There's no like, you know, very clearly defined answer on these. People have different opinions. It's a very interesting concept. Here we go. The girl you love wears what you want every day, looking stunning each time, but you will be forever friend-zoned. Oh my god, what sad, sad person wrote this question. You can stop time to do whatever you want, but there is something you can't do. You don't know what it is, and if you do it, everyone will be back to normal and know what you've done, but you will be frozen in place. Okay, so basically you can stop time and do anything you want. You know, you can spend time, so if you're a student, you could stop time, complete all your like research papers or your exams or whatever, and like, you know, have plenty of time left, and you know, nothing will have happened. You know, you can spend unlimited time doing whatever, or you know, you can freeze the world and go out and rob things, or you know, other things that are less morally and ethically ambiguous. But there is one specific thing that you can't do. You don't know what it is, but if you do it, everyone and everything will go back to normal, but you will be frozen in place, and you don't know what this specific thing is. Is this just a one-time thing, like you can only stop time the once? Because that would be kind of weird, and also very lonely. You just have to stop time for all eternity, because you run the risk of unfreezing time and then not being able to, you know, go back and do it again. So you want to make sure you've done everything. This is very, very confusing and scary. You know, I'm going to push the button. I'm just going to assume that we can stop time whenever we want. And the things that I would do probably wouldn't be that, like, you know, grey in terms of, you know, whether it's a good thing to do. So hopefully, because it says everyone will know what you have done. So I'm guessing that's like, you know, if you were like, I'm going to freeze time so I can have sex with this person, lol, and then you would be frozen in place and everyone would know what you've done. That would be bad. Or like, I'm going to freeze time so I can rob this bank. But you know, like, I don't feel like I would do those things. So we're probably okay. Like, you know, if I froze time so that I could play video games and not have time pass, or I could freeze time and make videos, like I could edit them and render them and everything, and actually get them uploaded and scheduled on time, because I'm bad at consistency. You know, so like I would be using it for like time management resource reasons more often than not, rather than, you know, to pull silly pranks. I feel like I would be in the clear with most of these things. So I'm going to go ahead and press the button. I'm actually in the minority on that one, but very, very slim minority. Is 49 to 51. Which means, again, people are very, very, like, divided on these subjects. This is interesting. We're really getting into the hearts and minds of the people here. You will always be financially secure, but you will never have children or a wife. Just no. Straight up, no. Cool. People are actually very split on that one. But I guess, I mean, that would be people that don't necessarily want children or a wife. They probably think, like, cool, whatever. Junk food is good for you, but healthy food makes you fat. I mean, any food can make you fat if you eat too much of it. Just eat in moderation, kids. Have a well-paid job and a secure future, but you have to work for an immoral government you do not agree with. Ooh. I like the concept of having a well-paid job, but then it depends. Like, I'd rather have satisfaction, whatever that may mean, within the confines and the context of the job. And if I'm working for an immoral government that I do not agree with, then I don't imagine I would have that. But, you know, I'm gonna go with no. Okay, 53% said no. Yeah, I get that. Here we go. You get $10,000 a month for free, but you permanently stink of urine. We literally go from you want to work for the government, but they're a morally corrupt government and you don't agree with them, to you get free money, but you're gonna smell of wee. People really are quite diverse in they're asking of questions, aren't they? I love the internet. I mean, you could just mask the smell, right, with deodorant. Or is it like, you know, an ever-pervading smell that will overcome any kind of mask that you attempt to apply? I'm just gonna go with a no. Rather just, you know, work to achieve more money by, you know, being able to network because I don't smell of pee. You can turn invisible whenever you want, but it cancels out when you get aroused. My lord. These are either like seriously deep, or they're like, yeah, you can look at girls naked, but if you look at them and get turned on, then, you know, you're gonna become visible again and it's not gonna be good for you. Like, the extent, the people's minds, man, like on the internet, like, you know, you can tell the people that play these games, or at least to decide to invent these questions. It's just truly mind-boggling. I think I'm gonna go with yes. Just because being able to turn invisible would be pretty cool. Obviously the whole arousal thing is an interesting twist, but you know what, we're just gonna go with it. We're gonna go for it, and that is that. 77% said yes. So anyway guys, we're gonna end the episode here. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's been a little bit different. It's been a lot of like discussion, more than actual gameplay. A lot of my videos kind of revolve around story-driven gameplay and, you know, or kind of just, you know, narrating what's happening. So this one was different because it was an actual like exploration of thought, and it was quite fun. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like rating down below and let me know in the comments if you want to see more of this. But as always guys, if you're new around here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We make new really good gaming videos every single day. I hope you're having a really good day, and I will see you really soon. Subscribe.